Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's an insecure review, you guys. This is for Ghost Like, the season finale for Insecure season 3. So let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, your girl Issa is still trying to get this block party off the ground. So she's in the neighborhood. She's going around to all the businesses to see if they will lend their support. And of course, when you have a community that's not used to doing these things, everybody is a good, hard, firm no. Okay, so she's discouraged. The only people she can count on coming are her two tenants. Okay, her girl was like, I'll come, hey. So now she has decided that maybe she had signed on for too much. She's talking to Molly, and she's all annoyed that Nathan made her feel like she can do this shit tomorrow. And it looks like it's going to be a whole lot more groundwork, leg work, footwork. Not as easy as she expected it to be. She tells Molly that, speaking of Nathan, she is over him. Okay, he is Sandra Bullocked. I was like, I kind of like that one. And Molly was like, good, because I thought you was losing it for a minute there. Oh, no, girl. She done got her head back on straight. Nathan ain't around anyway, so it's easier to get over somebody when they ain't there. So now that the block party is falling through, that was kind of Issa's, that was what she was working on. So, work right now is kind of slow. And Molly says, girl, my shit ain't going all that well either. Oh, the overachiever from Morehouse is all salty about the fact that, she kind of stepped in and proved to the partners that she could take on this case. And she don't understand, why are you so mad? Men do it all the time in this business, okay? When women do it, it's a problem. But whatever, she ain't gonna worry about it. You know what? It's your birthday, bitch, this weekend, and Molly got you. He was like, you gonna take me to Mexico for the weekend? She was like, no, girl, I do not go with you. Okay, we not doing that. Now we see Molly at work. She's asking the receptionist, has she seen the overachiever, Torrin. She says, actually, he's in a meeting with the partners. They was asking for you too. So Molly goes in there, and the partners across from her, they're all impressed with the work that Molly did. And you know what? They are going to promote her. I guess it's not really a promotion, but we're going to let you go on and take the lead. You're going to be the co-counsel lead on this case with the overachiever from Morehouse, Torrin. He's sitting right next to her. You can tell that he has this look on his face that he wants to say something. He has to say something. And he says, yeah, I'm so glad that I'm working with somebody who is as aggressive as Molly is. Okay, and he looks at her and she kind of looks down like, oh. But in Molly's eyes, this is all she's ever wanted, is to be able to crawl up the ranks, right? Well, be careful what you ask for. And then we see Issa. She's at the Beat Crew, and she is trying to convince them that this is the nonprofit organization for her to work at. She's trying to plead her case to the guy, and the guy is like standoffish. I was not really sure how to read him. It was almost like he wanted to laugh at her, because he was just like, so now what happened at your old job? And when she told him that she left there because that's just not in line with what she wanted, she felt like she'd be more valuable here, he was just like, okay, well, I'll take all of your information upstairs and we'll let you know. But I was just like, is he blowing her off? Because when they first met, he seemed to be so, he was open to it. And now all of a sudden he's kind of giving Issa the side. Or was it just me? I couldn't quite read it. Did he feel like maybe she's bouncing around? Did he feel like she wasn't committed to it? Like, what did I miss there? And then jumping over to Lawrence, we see Lawrence meet with his dad. Of all people. We hadn't seen Lawrence's family. Okay, his dad is coming. I guess he's connecting, and he's flying through Los Angeles, so he's got a couple of hours to spend with his son. And, Dad's like, so how's everything going? How's Issa? And Lawrence says, we cool, we're talking. He says, so you guys are not done then? He says, no, we done. Lawrence's whole thing is he wants to find somebody that he could just, like his dad and his mom, fall in love with and get married and happily ever after. And the father was just like, it was not really that easy. Lawrence says, but he didn't want no woman with baggage. And the father was like, we had matching luggage. Okay, shit. We got married and then we worked on that shit. I don't know why people think that marriage is not work. How many times have I told you guys that? He was like, that's the problem with a lot of relationships today. Okay, they don't want to work for it. And as far as being happy, you can either be happy in your marriage or you can be sad in your marriage. It's all about a choice. I was like, oh, that dad ain't said nothing but a word. Now, it's birthday bitch's birthday. Okay, and Molly fixing to pick up Issa, and they gonna spend the day out for her birthday. Okay, she pulls up to her apartment, and while she's waiting outside, who should walk up out? Who should walk up but Nathan? I said, what the fuck? This nigga coming up down the street with a bouquet of flowers and regret on his face. Molly jumped out that car. She was like, excuse me. He was just like, yeah, I wanted to talk to Issa. She was like, I don't think so. Not on her birthday. You're not coming over here with that shit. You're not about to ruin her birthday, you know. And he looks like he wants to go in there, but he don't want to have to deal with Molly, so he's just like, okay, and he turns around and walks away. That whole scene had me annoyed. First of all, I was with Molly when she jumped out that car, but then, you know, you had to really think about the fact that your girl has been going crazy for the last month, and you know she really want to talk to him. So I guess Molly was in this hard place. I guess I would have had an attitude as well. Like, nigga, you got your motherfucking nerves, but I don't know if I would have turned him away. And really, if he really wanted to talk to Issa, he didn't have to go away. Okay, so like I had a whole bunch of mixed emotions in that scene because I was like, Molly, you kind of wrong because Issa's a grown ass woman. This is her man or her, you know, whatever he is. And you know how much she's been wanting to talk to him. She was going fucking crazy all this time. For you to just turn him away like that, you know, and then for him to just be so easily like turned away, like, okay. I was just like, yeah, that whole scene. What would you guys have done? I would not have told him to go away. I just would have gave him a piece of my mind, and then I would have stepped aside and put Issa back together after they had their conversation. So, whatever though. He leaves, and Molly doesn't say anything. Issa doesn't know anything about it. So they go on about their day. She has her all blindfolded. Issa's like, oh shit, I hear white people music. Okay, like, where you took me? Okay, well, they are going to go see The Last Dragon. They're having this thing in Los Angeles where you can watch movies on, you know, like the building. It's a whole bunch of people there, black and white, you know, and this is dope. So Issa's excited about it. Kelly's inside. She's already saving their spot. While they waiting in line, who should she bump into but Lawrence, okay? And Lawrence and Issa, you know, they talking, joking around about the movie, you know, talking about Show No Scrap. Oh, side note, y'all see the Show No Scrap is out of jail? I said, ooh, I know that Mona is chomping at the bit. We're going to have the antics of Karen King next season for sure on Love and Hip Hop. Anyway, let me get back to the show. So, and he ain't showing up scrap no more, honey. He got that haircut. Brother man is looking good with a T on the end. Getting back to the show. So they, you know, chop it up real quick. Nothing serious. And Lawrence goes on about his way. He's meeting Chad and a couple of their friends there. Okay, so Issa and Molly go inside. You know, Kelly's in there waiting for him. You know, they hug. Kelly got the champagne waiting for him. Kelly tells him how she's the baby's godmother. Okay, so Kelly and Tiffany seem to be in a pretty good place. So they sitting there talking, and you know, Kelly's like, look at us, okay, we all out here, we thriving, black women, single. Molly says, well, what about your man? Okay, Kelly's like, what man is she talking about? the little nigga from Coachella. Oh, you know what? His ass didn't want to put his face to play, so she could not deal with him no more. And then she asked Molly, and what about you? What's happening with you and the Asian? Well, Molly was like, oh, he's, you know, dead, R.I.P. Kelly was like, damn, what happened to him? Like, was it the 405? Because that damn 405 will fucking kill you. Ooh, that traffic out in L.A. Anyway, no, nigga, we don't mean literally. It means that she's not dealing with him no more. Kelly was like, well, girl, I understand. There's a whole bunch of niggas here I ain't dealing with no more. Okay, I done fucked everybody up here. There go one with, you know, then she see the other one across the way, Quantrell. Okay, fuck you, Quantrell. And then she was like, oh, no, that's not Quantrell. And she get up and she goes over there to flirt with him. That Kelly is funny as hell. Now, Lawrence meets up with Chad, and Chad is going through some changes, all right? Come to find out that Chad is back with his girl. Leah took you back? Yep, Leah took him back. So what, you just got saved and you went and bought some flowers and she took you back? And he was like, oh no, it was way more than that, okay? You got to do way more begging and pleading. But Chad's whole thing was like, I'm not fixing to let that go. She forgave me. What the fuck I look like, grown-ass man starting all the way over with somebody new? Like, we already know each other, and let's just work on this. So quite a mature outlook, even though it's with Chad's little spin on it, but still, right? And Lawrence is listening to him talk like, wow. I'm sure Lawrence is thinking about the shit that his dad told him. you know, how you got to work for it. Nothing comes easily. Chad tells him that it was worth it, okay? Even though he had to sit there through, you know, seasons worth of Project Runway, them blowjobs are still out this world. Like I said, it's always going to have a little Chad spin on it. Anyways, why are we here? Where there's a girl there, she gives a whole speech about how they just want to have black classic movies for everybody to enjoy, so they're gonna do this all summer. You know, everybody come out and enjoy themselves. You know, I love us. All right, so yeah, we about to, you know, got the whole little thing set up, and it looks like it's gonna be a cool little night. So the movie is going, everybody is sitting around watching. Molly gets up, I guess, to go to the concession stand, and who should she bump into in line but Jared? You guys remember Jared from the first season, right? The one that she fucked over because he worked at Enterprise, and she was this lawyer who could not be bothered. Once he told her about that one little episode that he had with the guy, remember, she was just over it after that. All right, so she bumps into that Jared, and Jared is looking good. Jared's always been good looking, and she's just sort of like, hey, like, wow, you know, how you doing? And he's all like, I'm good, you know, I'm a district manager still at Enterprise, you know. And when they kind of look like they just smiling at each other, and then here comes this other good-looking black man like, hey, you know, I got the seats over there, you want me to get the drinks? And Jared says yes. And when Molly sees him, she's just like, oh, you know, I'm sure in her mind's like, I knew it. So then she, of course, has to rush off. Okay, I gotta go. He is like, you sure? I mean, you okay? And she says yes. And she rushes off, bumps into Lawrence. Okay, but she got to get back over there to her girls and let them know, like, I knew it, I knew it. Here I was pining after the nigga all that time, and his ass is gay. To think she was depressed and spent so much time thinking about his ass. And then Kelly comes back. Okay, turns out that was Quantrill. Now they go back together again. she looks bothered by it. But anyway, so they sit down, they watching the show. Lawrence comes over with a box of Raisinets for Issa. And, you know, a little quick chat. You know, he's asking her about the block party. She is telling him how it looks like it's going to be a little bit too much now. So maybe she's not going to do it right now. And, you know, she's just trying to make the best decision. And he's like, okay, I got that. But he goes on back over there with Chad and them. Everybody finishes watching the movie. When it's over, Issa's feeling like, damn, why can't we have something like this in our neighborhood? Okay, on the other side of the 10. Okay, we shouldn't have to travel to the west side all the time if we want to, you know, go do something nice. So she goes and talks to the girl who's the organizer, who is also one of the girls from Tiffany's baby shower. I didn't remember who she was, but she was just like, you know, this was dope, and you know, how did you do it? I'm trying to do something like this in Inglewood. And the girl was just like, yeah, it was hard, you know, a lot of people told me no, I had to just keep on until I got on their nerves enough to where they finally agreed. Okay, so Issa's like, yeah, okay, you know, she's taking that into consideration, like, yeah, maybe she can do this. And then when Issa goes back and hooks up with the crew, Molly sees Jared coming their way. You know, she looks at Issa, she's like, be cool, and Issa's like, what? Jared walks up with who we thought, at least who Molly thought was his boyfriend. Turns out it is Jared's equally cute brother with both of their girlfriends. So Molly is quite the molded one, scratch the neck. She's looking, and he introduces them as his girlfriend, you know, and the brother and his girlfriend. And Molly is just sort of like, oh, okay, yeah, like y'all look alike. Molly, just let a good one go, basically. When Molly and Issa get back home, and, you know, Issa's had some time to think about her block party, you know, now she thinks she wants to do it. Molly was like, oh, word? And she was just like, yeah, you know, I'm making, you know, good decisions. I think this is what I want to do. I'm ready now. Molly was like, okay, well, you know, I think I made good decisions too. Like when I sent that nigga away earlier. And Issa was like, wait, what you talking about? And she says, Nathan. Nathan came by here earlier today. And child, you could see it all over Issa's face. Her face turned. She said, wait a minute, what? And she said, yeah, he came by here and I told him he had to leave. And she was like, why would you do that? And she was like, because you said you didn't want no drama for your birthday. I was trying to look out for you. And she was just like, why wouldn't you let me handle it? Molly was just like, let you handle it? Like, what you handling? You had me out there at this house looking all crazy. Like, you wasn't handling nothing, okay? I was trying to help you out. And Issa was like, don't do me no fucking favors. And why you feel like you can fix everything any damn way, okay? Wasn't you the same one that we had to sit up there and look at your gay boyfriend who is not gay with his woman? But you talking about me and my life and how I don't have it together? You got your fucking nerves. Issa's just really annoyed with the fact that Molly turned her. I knew it wasn't going to work out well. Like, that was definitely not the best call to make. And it starts to make you wonder, does Molly want Issa to be single and manless and unhappy just like her? Just because your standards of, you know, what you require in a man, you can't push that on all of your friends as well. So, you know, Issa's like, I'm not like you. I don't just cut a nigga off with the quick and be done with them forever. Like, I don't understand what's happening with you. You've been in such a negative mood. You've been talking crazy to people, talking down to people. And what is your angle? Like, what is your angle? You gonna climb the ladder and become a partner and nobody else there likes you? Is that what you want? You still gonna be by yourself. And that's not you, Molly. That's never been you. I was like, that's kind of been Molly since we've known her. But, you know, Issa's just trying to let her know, like, you need to, whatever this is you going through, you need to stop it. And she just gets up and walks away. And, that Issa, she was so upset. I felt bad for her. It's like that one chance, even though I knew that, you know, if they come around one time, they'll end up coming back again, child. That's how them niggas do. So then next day we see Molly at work. She sees overachiever Torrin in the hallway and she walks up to him and he's like, hey, you know what, you got it. She was like, what? He's like, the case. You can take the Metro case, you know, let the partners know that you more than capable to handle the case. And she was just like, no, what you talking about? We can do this together. He was like, no, you don't need me. Let the partners know you got it. I'm going to join the Rivers Rest case or whatever it was. And then he walks in the room with the girls that Molly, you know, on any given day, one day she they friends, other days they kind of looking at her side-eyed. So I was just like, oh, Molly, looks like you chose the wrong team to be on this time. When they all looking at her, now I'm sure she felt ostracized. They were like, congratulations, Molly, on the Metro case. And all three of them are just looking at her. Okay, so maybe her undermining the overachiever was not the move, or, you know, not the correct move to make. So Molly kind of feels like she knows she made a mistake there. So that's when she goes on home and she calls Andrew, and she, to make a long story short, apologizes, says that she was in a bad space, taking it out on everybody instead of just realizing that maybe the person hurt her more than she had thought, and that she's sorry. And even though Andrew tried to blow her off originally, he doesn't this time. He actually just listens because she's like, hello? And he's like, I'm here. And I was like, oh, well, maybe this will be good for Molly, because he didn't turn her away. And it did show some maturity in Molly, in the fact that instead of her getting mad, because remember when Issa told her about herself that first season, remember how mad Molly was? Stopped talking to Issa and everything. This time she actually took into consideration what Issa said and called Andrew, who was a good dude, and see if they can try to figure something out. So I was like, okay, score one for Molly. At the same time, we see Issa. She's out with the girl who organized the movie night. The girl's real helpful, telling her how, you know, she will help her with anything. You know, they can get some entertainment, some big names. You know, some people at Rockefeller that'll help her out. And Issa's like, thank you. You know, so now Issa's back on track. She's gonna do the block party. So when they're getting ready to leave, she asked the girl, do you need a ride? You know, I am your Lyft girl. And she was like, no, I have a date. And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, I know who this date is with. So Issa's fine. She leaves and she goes home. And when she gets there, on her doorstep, we see that Nathan has left the flowers. Okay, so I'm assuming this is the next day. I'm just like, are the flowers plastic? Fuck, were they real? You know, for them to still be good sitting out there. Anyway, she picks them up and she reads the card on there, and she's just sort of looking like, oh, Nathan. And again, this date, we see Lawrence out with the girl that organized the movie night. I guess this is Lawrence's, you know, his take on working for something, not thinking that things will come easily, because the girl says, you know, I thought that I scared you away when I told you I was And he, was just like, no, I didn't tell you about my DUIs. Okay, even though he's just kidding. But so we're going to see what's going to happen with Lawrence and old girl. And then we get to see what we have been hoping for like the last fucking, 3 episodes, is the conversation between Nathan and Issa. So Nathan comes to her house. She goes outside to talk to him. And, I was just sitting there listening to him talk and just thinking about in my young and ready days when I was dating, and how many times I've had this conversation with dudes. Like, he's all in this vague, I was in a bad space, and, I was depressed, and I didn't want to talk to nobody, and so I went back to Houston, and I didn't want to put you through that. But I never will understand why some men won't understand that if you would just say something, even if it was, look, I'm going through some things, I need to go back to Houston and take care of some business. That's all it would have needed to have been. Instead, you make shit so much worse by disappearing and not saying nothing. And that is the most frustrating part in being trying to grow some sort of relationship. Like, I need you to fucking grow up and learn how to goddamn communicate on the littlest, smallest level. And it will work out so much better for you. If he could have just did that for Issa, she wouldn't have been as crazy as she had been. So she was just like, so you just was in a bad mood and you left. Okay, you the one came after me, not vice versa. I didn't ask you to come into my world. You sought me out just to bone out like that. So, she was just like, I need time, okay, to figure out what I want. And when she's walking away, he grabs her and says, well, this time I'm serious. I'm here, forever. And I was like, Issa, don't melt in this Negro's arms. Because even if you feel like you want to do it, no, you cannot never make it that easy for somebody like that. So she just walks away, and I was like, thank God, don't invite him in, don't have sex, none of that. So she goes in the house and she looks around. She looks in her apartment. She sees it still in disarray, half unpacked. So she goes and gets an album out of the one of her boxes, and she puts it on her record player, and she commences to getting her place together, hangs up her pictures, gets her furniture situated, and pours her a glass and sits on her couch. This my shit. You can tell she's pleased with where she is in her life right now. She might not have a job that she wants. Okay, money might be fucked up, but this is still hers, and she's not gonna let no man, kind of decide where her fate is. My brother, I was just talking to him, and he sent me a text message and said, Roxanne, do you see any coincidence in this couch? I was like, no, I haven't seen anything about the couch until you mentioned it. I said, tell me your take on it. My brother says, well, the couch is always shows where Issa is in her life. At the end of every season, it's always a scene with her couch. The first season, remember, she was on the couch that she and Lawrence threw out that was in front of the apartment that they lived in, and she was crying on the couch with her with Molly. That's because she knew that her relationship was about to be trash. Okay. The second finale, remember the couch scene when we saw Issa and Lawrence when she was in her dream sequence and she was laying on the couch with him and everything was good. Remember, we saw that scene, but that was just a dream, and it turns out that nope, shit was not good. Okay, remember, she wanted to even give him the couch and he wouldn't take it. And then the whole significance of the couch this whole season, of her sleeping on the couch at Daniel's house, and it being, her being iffy. And then now at the end of this season, in the season finale, she is on her couch, but this time she's happy and she's pleased with herself. And I was like, oh, Brian, you know what? You kind of smart. Okay, I didn't even think about the significance of the couch, but definitely I could see where they worked that couch into every part of this show. So yeah, that was a pretty good observation, Brian, if I should say so myself. Anyway, you guys, so the episode was cool. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I was fine because I felt like at least I could see that these are transitional. This whole season was transitional, and that it set up season 4. because now we can see where everybody is headed in their lives. Okay, Issa trying to get this block party, and still just trying to find herself before she's with some man. We see Lawrence maybe possibly venturing out and dating other women, and maybe we'll meet the woman of his dreams. There's still a little something going on with Issa and Lawrence. Not quite ready to say that they are headed back towards each other, but there's something there. Okay, we still gonna hear about, we still got Tiffany and her husband. Remember the problems that they were having. They're about to have their baby. Molly, okay, where her job is heading. I don't think it's going to be a good season for Molly next season, unless Molly makes some changes. So I think Molly is headed for quite still some problems next season. But yeah, I could see where this episode at least set me up to feel like, okay, next season we gonna kind of pick up the pace a little bit. And then we cannot ignore the fact that HBO is gonna need to either give them a longer season. Why can't it be 12 episodes? 4 more episodes, 30 minutes, because I know people are saying it should be an hour long, but I don't believe Issa. I think I read that Issa said that she does not want to do an hour-long show. And we were fine with 30 minutes. I was fine with 30 minutes all this time, so I don't feel like it needs to be. I just feel like that the pace needs to pick up a little bit. I'm not saying it has to be all exciting and shit happening all the time, and I don't need that. And the show has never been exciting in that way. But I need the show to move along at a swifter pace and kind of give the audience a little bit more of what they miss. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, the finale was okay. I actually liked this episode better than I did last week. So that was it, you guys. Y'all let me know what you thought about the finale. What do you think about the direction of the season next, season 4? Leave all that below. All right, you guys. So if it looks different from earlier, if you notice the change, is because I had to come back to the car and redo, a segment because I had left some shit out and it was important. So I was like, oh, let me go get back in the fucking car and do it. So that's why the color, the lighting might be different, my makeup might be different, my hair, all of that. Okay, but I tried to keep the continuity there. It's just sometimes it don't work out that way. Anyway, you guys, let me get back to work. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.